Hey Moonies, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I am talking about SMC 38, Act 37, Infinity 11, Infinite Judge. And I will just say this episode was even more emotional than the last. There were a lot of very, punch to the gut moments, in my opinion. It started out with the ending part of the last episode with Super Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon calling on the Chalice to become Super Sailor Moon, and Sailor Chibi Moon wishing to be stronger, and the second Chalice appearing, and Super Sailor Chibi Moon appears. And once again, even with that recap, it was still a goosebumps moment, in my opinion. I loved when they combined their powers to make Rainbow Double Moon Heartache. I really liked that. That was cool. While they are battling Mistress Nine, you see Pluto struggling with holding the barrier with the other outer Senshi, and she senses he's coming. And of course, we're talking about none other than Master Pharaoh 90. I do have to say, though, in that moment, I really liked hearing Super Sailor Moon say, "Give me more power to blast him to pieces." And the reason I like that is because it seems so rare when we hear her so willing to just vanquish something, a living creature, because she's so not like that. So it's so rare to hear that. So I personally kind of liked that moment. So in that moment, we kind of see Master Pharaoh 90 absorbing Mistress 9, and then we see the inner Senshi go into the calling on their attacks in unison. And this was so cool because we got to see Tuxedo Mask, the Tuxedo La Smoking Bomber, kind of his sort of transformation, but I absolutely love that. It was so, I fangirled out in that moment. So they're all combining their powers to attack Master Pharaoh 90. And once again, I love that Tux was involved. So great. And, you see the outer Senshi still very much struggling to hold that barrier. And it really comes across. I just want to say the animation I thought was really good again in this episode. The music was good. I really felt everything. I felt that it was translated very well. I just love everything about this episode, even though some parts were just like, I'm dying emotionally, but it was really well done. So we see all of the girls in the inner Senshi kind of, putting their power into this. And of course we see Sailor Chibi Moon just pass out and start falling to the ground, and Tuxedo Mask goes down there to catch her. And honestly, in that moment, I was kind of thinking, I'm amazed she's lasted this long, because hello, she basically was dead. She just woke up from basically being, deceased in a way. And it's like, wow, I'm amazed she lasted that long. And then you see all the inner Senshi start to exhaust their powers and just fall to the ground. So it was a traumatic moment in that moment, I thought. So the outer Senshi are still struggling to hold on to this, barrier that is just, you can tell is just fragile. And of course, Master Pharaoh 90 is like, hey, thanks for all that power, girls, because the power basically made him stronger, and he smashes the barrier to pieces as he said he was going to. So then you see the Taro solar system that was at Mugen Academy, and it appears in the sky, and it basically allows Master Pharaoh 90 to taint the earth with his power all over. And then you see Super Sailor Moon realize, okay, nobody has any power left. They've literally exhausted all their power. And then she sees the moonlight, and she remembers. I love the flashback that they had in this episode, because it was her remembering how all of these people that she loved have protected her on the Moon Kingdom, and just how she's always been protected by them. And I love that flashback because it was really beautifully done, and it was very emotional. And she says it's her turn to save them, and that she, the power lies within her to do it, she believes. And I really loved seeing how strong she is, not only in SMC in general, but really I felt that a lot, very, very much so in this episode, I have to say. So she calls on the chalice, and Tux is like screaming at her since he knows what she's going to do. And I have to say, that moment got me. I was like, oh God. And, she's basically just, she's falling into the void of basically Master Pharaoh 90, and she's just ready to release the powers within her into Master Pharaoh 90. And the whole time, he's seeing this. Tuxedo Mask is seeing this, and he is just yelling in agony. The voice actor did a great job, I have to say, as she just disappears into the void. And, all of the Senshi and the Tux and the cats, and, just, oh my God, their reactions, it's just, was so emotional, so well done. I mean, even with Uranus saying, I wanted to save you with my hands, they all just wanted to save her. And, then Tux saying, I let you go alone before me, I couldn't save you. That was bad enough. But seriously, when Chibi Moon yelled, Mama, I have to be honest, I lost it. Like, that moment killed me, because it was just, the emotion is very strong on SMC, but good Lord, this episode, about did me in. But true to SMC fashion, we never have long to, really absorb what's going on, because in that moment, the three talismans started resonating, and Master Pharaoh 90 started reacting to all of it, and all hell breaks loose. And then you see an orb of light emerge from the void, and Sailor Saturn appears. And I have to say, loved her entrance, thought that was done really well, and I really liked her voice. She's the emissary from the abyss of death, planet of ruin, guardian of silence. I loved that entrance. It was very powerful. I also liked when she said, it seems I am always an uninvited guest. I really liked how they drove it home with her character in this episode. I really love that. And then, of course, you see her kind of stab her staff into Master Pharaoh 90's void as she, tells the story that, about Hotaro was supposed to have eternal rest after her accident of, the fire. How Dr. Tomoe's twisted mind had attracted the aliens, and Hotaro living at all, let alone as a cyborg, basically shocked both Hotaro as well as Sailor Saturn's soul. Since Sailor Saturn's soul was never to be awakened, or wasn't supposed to be awakened, she said, everything began leading to destruction as predestined by fate, but now that she is awakened, she must swing down the silence glaive. Again, this is a very powerful moment, because even though we know it's coming, or those of us that know it's coming, there's just so much going on in that moment, and it was done so well. So I really, really felt that. So we're kind of seeing Sailor Saturn in a way, I guess, power up in a way to get ready to do her thing. And Uranus says, this can't be their fate. Super Sailor Chibi Moon says, will there be no future for us? And that got me too when they had her say that. Sailor Saturn calls on Death Ribbon Revolution, which was an awesome attack, minus the repercussions, of course. If we weren't looking at the repercussions, it would be an awesome attack. Sailor Saturn says to Master Pharaoh 90, return to nothing. Then you see Tuxedo Mask say, this is the end. And Sailor Saturn swings down the glaive. And then when Super Sailor Chibi Moon screams, right at that moment, Super Sailor Chibi Moon is screaming, Sailor Moon! And again, that was a really powerful moment. And of course the screen goes to white, which was done really, really well. So it was another one of those episodes that I was like, oh my God, I think I forgot to breathe through most of this episode. And this episode was so incredibly intense and emotional. Definitely by far one of the most emotional and just intense episodes that I've seen in SMC. but it was done beautifully and so amazing. So next week we are on to the last episode of this arc, which is just crazy to even think about. I can't believe we're already here. SMC 39, Act 38, Infinity 12, Infinite Journey, which, judging by the preview, it's going to be another emotional episode. So bring the tissues, Moonies, because I have a feeling it's going to be also pretty emotional. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. Happy Moon Day, Moonies. Have a good one.